we have to decide what comic book artist draws this, but they spend a lot of time on this picture. So yes, in fact, I'm at the moment, from everyone else's point of view, there's going to be a cracking sound of great psychic and physical extent. Everybody can feel it in their bones and in their minds and hear it without using their ears for all around. And the effect on you is going to basically, you're just going to collapse. You are contemplating infinity.
Okay.
That's going to take a while.
So, I imagine. Yeah.
Right. And so the question, now you guys know that Urko had wanted to get something from this place. Urko seems to be stunned by looking at this terrifying emblem. And so the question is, are you going to go in there with him and examine anything, perhaps help him?
Examine Urko, because he doesn't seem to be doing fine, or he seems to be... Well, it seems to be either something very interesting or...
Very astonished.
Yeah.
Like, you fine, Urko?
Yeah, okay. No answer, of course.
Just taking the lantern like in front of his eyes.
Oh, I see.
Urko.
Okay. So you're going to try to make some contact and things like that. Okay. So the system does not really have great mechanics for this. I'm going to have to decide how this works. It depends a little bit on what you literally try to do. Do you try to reach his mind? Do you try to reach his mind? Do you try to reach his soul? Or do you try to reach his emotions? Intelligence, power, charisma.
That's trying to reach his mind, his soul, or emotions.
Mm-hmm. His mind seems really, really,
we
really
are three.
busy.
I mean,
can try everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would say the mind, I mean, he kind of like an old man that has,
right.
Started contemplating about the past, like, totally gone, like, hello.
Sure, but which
mind? So intelligence, I guess.
Yes. Well, that's what you are attacking. His intelligence is enormous, so it's going to be kind of hard. So
I'm going for power.
Okay, so take your charisma.
I think your charisma is higher than mine, right, Jovan?
Well, your charisma is pretty good, right?
15.
I'm just going with
15
what
good.
feels logical anyway for the character.
15 against
10.
10, okay. Yes, but you're going against power. What's your power?
Oh, my power is 13.
Okay, so you have 60 or less. You're going for the mind,
yep.
Right? Mind and mind. So that's the only way to...
You have to get Urko back to this plane.
So that's my intelligence. We're against Urko's.
Yes, that's not so good.
No, but I'm going for it anyway.
Okay, you have about a 10% chance. Go ahead. Okay.
Good luck.
Should I roll?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 39.
Oh, well. Okay, go ahead.
24.
Okay, much better. Yes, with a 15 against an 11, was it? Power?
13.
13, okay, yeah, 60 or less, so you're good. Okay, so what this means...
does it help?
Oh, yeah. What this means is that you are basically going to go up and you are using... you are just basically connecting as magically as possible, possibly even with the spirit, some sort of spirit effect, some spirit bridge between the two of you.
Uh-huh.
And so that will call you back.
Thank you.
Right. I think the first thing you do is cover your face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't put
look
someone big in front of me.
That's right.
Oh,
Don't look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Put your back to it.
Mm-hmm. So you may proceed. And this area, it would be a fascinating place to explore and map and things like that. But the one thing that you will find is a cage. like a little bird cage, almost. Something that is a cage that is small, built to hold something small. And in it is nothing but a round piece of metal with the same rune on it. And it is sitting in a position of, it's not just sitting on the floor, it's sitting in the wall in a sort of position of what might be possibly respect or of some kind of prominent display of some kind.
So it's stuck to...
No, it is not.
No,
You could actually take this if you wanted to.
do I
I'm
dare
backing.
touch it?
I'm backing out of there because
Okay.
on one hand I'm
You've had
still
enough of this.
concerned
Yeah.
about Imja,
Right.
my promise to her.
That's true. Because
But I
that situation is not concluded yet.
basically thought that I could trust everybody in my group, which
Right.
might have been wrong.
Mm.
I'm wondering if I try to convince Jovan
Mhm.
to wait, at least, with exploring that cave.
Right.
Because I think he owes her something too,
Right.
and even if it was symbolic, they were married,
Mhm.
and
So Skava
he
is...
has the
right.
spirit shield. I know that much, so
Right,
I'm going
right.
to pledge my charisma against this. I'm just
Okay,
going
unless
to try
you
to
agree,
convince him,
unless he just plain
if
agrees.
it's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so he's just going to go with you.
As
This
long
makes
as I
sense.
get the information. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so are you going to take this little cage?
Do I know anything about it, or just
Only that it
if
drove your mind almost completely into madness to look at it.
You better
So
cover
if
it if you
This is
want.
what you came for.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do my best there. Do I know anything if it's just by touch or just by sight? Or
Well, it is such an alien image, and it is impossible to tell if this cage is protection or an actual container, a prison for it, or anything. It's such a strange circumstance that even your lore is just unable to deal with it. Your lore goes back to the dawn of time, but it does not go before that.
okay.
So this is a very strange thing, and you're just going to have to guess. Leave it or take it.
So these two are gone.
Mm-hmm.
You're still here.
I'm still here.
If we're going outside, can I try to drag the creature, the merge?
Take it
It's
out.
huge. Well,
huge.
remember
Okay.
you had called other people to come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically dismembering what's
Okay.
left of it and getting rid of it. Yeah.
It's out in the sunlight.
Right.
Yep.
So
Good plan. In fact, some people by now, or if they haven't, they will soon, they're going to start excavating the entire entrance.
Okay.
So this, remember, it was like one of those little doors in the side of the hill. They are going to excavate the whole thing and just open up the whole thing.
okay. So I am thinking of maybe not looking at it
Mm-hmm.
and have something as. Do I have gloves or something
Sure.
on?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Is it far from?
Or you can get some, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
something to protect me from directly touching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but remember, it is in this structure, this
Okay.
cage thing.
Can I like?
You want to
it?
open it? Okay.
Yeah.
Then get something on your hand and
Yeah.
pull it out.
Pull it up.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting choice. Okay. Good enough. No problem.
I'm worried because there is no problem.
That does come to mind, yes. Okay. Fantastic. You now have this completely harmless and helpful and valuable object. Okay. Let's go ahead and get you guys out of there. And then let's also have a look at what is happening with Imja. Okay? Yeah, Imja has... The fetch has evicted it from Imja's body. The two of them have switched places, so now Imja is finally back in her body, and the fetch now is in its ordinary state as a spirit near her. Okay, and so the problem now is that although they have driven its power down by at least 6 or 7 points, Imja is herself in her body, but as soon as she sees you, she's going to grab you, right? And you have already mentioned the spirit shield. I assume that you have been preparing that in your mind right away, so you might want to spend the power for that. And fortunately, that's going to drop the power by 4, its power by 4. So now the fetch is going to go. She just basically holds on to you. You're not even sure what is happening.
Right.
But her body language, everything is just don't let go. Okay? Because while you have her, you can affect the fetch. You're giving the fetch spirit shield. That means that its power, which was already dropped by 6 or 7, is now dropped 4 more points for purposes of spirit combat. And so that means that the fetch has a really good chance to destroy it. So let's see how that goes. Okay, the fetch hits with a 38. It fails to hit the fetch. It would have before with a 43, but it is now dropped. Okay, so that means that it's now a chance to... we have to find out how much it reduces it. It needs to get...
Critical?
It needed a high roll, but it only gets here, so it only is going to drop it by 2 points.
Oh.
Okay, so, but it is really dropped down with only 2 or 3 points of power left. There's no way it's going to survive. With the 3 of you working together, the way you are right now, and all I can say is, Skava, right now, what you can see is whatever it is that they're doing,
It's working.
I'm not going to touch it.
No,
Right? However, Skava does look at you and says, if it takes me, there's one last choice, one last chance. If the spirit takes me, there's one last chance. If you see her point. Right. But it looks like it's not going to come to that. It looks as though that with the power imbalance the way it is, only a few more exchanges will be enough finally to put this thing out of its existence forever. Those of you who are watching can faintly see the wings of Imja's fetch folding around the ancient twisted spirit of this man and finally tearing it into pieces. Just the last dramatic bit is faintly visible. So that will do.
Well, that one.
Poor Skava didn't get to do that much this
Wait,
time.
did we succeed, that means?
I'm
You led.
fine if I
Okay.
don't have to kill her.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And so finally,
But
yeah,
I'm going to prepare my bow
yeah,
and
yeah,
stepping back it
right.
as much as I can.
When it's over, you can confirm that it is
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
right? And by the time that this is finished, the 2 of you will have come back. You can see what the other people there are all, watching in some fright and terror, some fright and respect for what is happening. And that this sequence is concluded, I think. Yeah. We have a few things to do. I think that we have been in this area long enough, and we are going to move to different adventures next time. But we'll probably finish with... oh, geez.
Yes, I thought.
Yeah.
Was there more, so to say, except that bird cage?
As a matter of fact, in there, no.
No,
There's
that was
more.
it.
Well, I will say things that you probably wouldn't know without doing some more investigation. There's plenty of fascinating information in terms of architecture, in terms of age, in terms of learning things about ancient stuff.
All right.
But it is all academic.
All right, so it was nothing else.
You are not going to find any bags of coins or
No.
anything like that
All
in
right.
there, of course. But that particular item was alone. Which is also weird.
Seriously, Sword, were you contemplating to go in further?
No, well, I was thinking if we missed something, but so that there isn't hiding more devils, more of those.
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
No. If we did it all, it's fine. Then
Right.
we don't need to go in again. We've done what we needed to do.
So yes.
I was thinking about the structure and everything. Did I get any information by looking at it from
Probably.
what I already know?
Well, we can talk more about that. I will say let's keep it simple for now. That you can anticipate hours of conversation with the priests and scholars of the buried dead. They're you know with everything that you have managed to see that you are going to be the center of attention when you get home.
Okay.
So
I will draw this little thing here.
Mhm.
So
Excellent. And so the next thing, let's try some rolls, some improvement. You get to roll to see if you improve your spear. You get to roll to see if you improve
Romfia and scan.
scan. Yeah.
Would I?
Scan.
Did you succeed at some things?
Sword?
Let's roll
In the
for
second
scan.
try, would that count?
That's
Which
not
one?
a success.
The sword in the
Yes.
second try,
Yeah,
would that
no
count?
problem. Yeah, absolutely. It was a critical.
Above.
So roll above your
Above,
percentage.
And Romfia.
Why do I have the feeling that I
That's
don't
not
do
a
it this
success
time?
either. Nope and no.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope and no.
Oh well. Not you guys went
so
up.
95. How
Oh,
much?
that's not bad.
Oh, 59. Oh, well, that's still good.
So that becomes a 55.
55.
No changes.
Learning, that's fine. The game
What is
kind
it?
of bumps along,
Oh, yeah,
and we
it's-
have adventures, and you go up when you go up. And
I assume when Skava realizes that Inja is fine, she's going to give her a big hug.
I think that there's a lot of big hugs going on at the moment. Yeah, there's been a lot of bonding.
Yeah, and Urko is very happy.
Oh,
Excellent. Okay,
my little spawn spirit.
that's not going to come back. I think that was a big scary spirit that you showed it to, and it's
Twice.
gone. Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
sorry.
It's done.
But
So
thankful anyway.
yes, absolutely. There is a deal that shamans can do. If they give some of their power to a spirit and actually sacrifice some power, which is not so bad for a shaman because they store extra power on the spirit plane anyway. But if you give the spirit some power, then it will do something for you. And so that's called it's not a bound spirit, it's called a captured spirit. And so it's like you made a deal with it. So that's what she did this particular time. So, good enough? Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're...
The villagers would be happy and we could
Yes.
move on because
Correct,
I think I really have enough of this area.
I think I feel the same way. And it's a nice chapter for our travels.
Let's see if we can find something where we don't have to deal with spirits.
That's true.
That's very...
Oh, underground things.
Yeah, let's.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
that's right.
Let's keep it above
Yeah, the
ground.
woods woman would prefer to
Let's
be up
keep-
here.
Let's keep it somewhere where things are
What?
living.
The rules of the
Yes. Sorry.
Whether they have 2 legs or 4 legs, I don't really care.